So let's move on now to the Times. What have we got on the front cover of the Times?
It's a busy, it's a slightly different news story for them.
Oh, wait, this is The Guardian. I apologise.
Sorry,
The Guardian.
Scientists hail bowel disease discovery. This is on the front page of The Guardian. I don't understand what they're all about. Is on one hand, they're totally team world, as I say. They want to present like this.
Lewis, what is the story, though? What is the bowel disease that they've...
Genetics.
Right.
They found certain genes which are going to do it. But the truth is that bowel disease is caused by mostly by the things that we're eating, and we're eating a lot of toxicity.
Now, Steve, of course, Lewis does like to think that he knows more about nutrition than any other scientist in the world.
Yeah.
Would you tell us a bit more about this story?
Well, I think genetics is important for many of these diseases, which would end up talking about me over here.
Yeah.
In cancers, it's important,
Yes.
and they're finding it's important here. And it is. We're getting into a time when knowing about the impact of someone's genetics will then be able to tailor the treatment as well. This is exciting times, unless you just ignore all of that and just go back to, oh, it's all about me.
It's exciting times. What do they need to know about genetics? They need to know about it because they want to keep track of us. Number one.
How do they track you by knowing you?
Because once they have you, they say, oh, I got to go have my genetics tested. I had my genetics tested, but lots of people do not, and I can understand why they don't. They don't want to know about it because
you being
people
tracked,
like
why
you.
did you have your genetics tested?
Because I wanted to prove that I was who I thought I was.
Well, you're not, Lewis.
That was never in doubt.
You're an imposter. Why don't we have a look at the other story on The Guardian? Sunak lied to country over Labour tax and spend plans, says Starmer.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is interesting because during the debate, if you watched it, quite often Rishi Sunak brought up the issue of it being an extra £2,000 per family, and it was never really pushed back upon. Indeed, during the debate, the Telegraph went with the headline, Keir Starmer refuses to deny it.
So why is Starmer only now pushing back?
Because you couldn't
the
get
day
a word
after
in.
the debate.
Honestly, if you watch all the bits again, as soon as you're going to go, I just need to say something about that, Julie Etching shuts him down and goes, well, we'll come back to that later. And eventually they did kind of come back to it. But the interesting thing here is a letter from James Bowler, who's the Treasury's permanent secretary, in which he said the ministers should not suggest that civil servants produce the figure. It's the special advisors who give the civil servants the input data. The civil servants churn it, and therefore you can't say it. And the thing that I do think people should have spotted this, right? The criticism of Labour is we don't know what the policies are. We don't know what the policies are. We don't know what the policies are. Their policies will cost this much. How did you not spot the gap? If we don't know the policies, how do you know how much it's going to cost?
Well, also, the manifesto's not out yet. You know, I think a lot will be made clear, won't it, when the manifestos come out? I'm talking about all the parties there.
Yeah.
At the moment, we're still fumbling in the dark a little bit, aren't we, Lewis?
It doesn't matter what the Tories say; they're not going to do it. So what does it matter what Rishi Sunak says?
Well, you can't possibly say that, Lewis. You don't know.
But he's had 18 months to do something. He hasn't done anything. The biggest problems have not been sorted.